करा बंद या. घरनं सोडावं लागतं. आलं नाही की अजून ते रानातनं. कुठे हो तुम्ही? रानात.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I just want to confirm that my voice is audible and screen are visible to you. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So before continue, we need to discuss regarding course material. Uh, do you able to access course material? That means notes. Good evening. Are you able to access notes which I was share with you day before yesterday? Okay, that's good. So every day I will update that notes. Please download that files which we are learn on day basis. Okay. So what we are going to learn today? Today we are going to learn a deep dive in inheritance. After inheritance, we are going to learn has a relationship. After that, we are going to learn interfaces. After interfaces, we are going to learn access modifier and non-access modifier. So that things we are going to learn today. So still people are joining. So we will wait 5 minutes more and then we will continue. Okay. Uh, before move to next topic, uh, is any doubt, is any question there regarding last lecture?
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Good evening. What's your question? Okay. So let's continue. Yesterday, we are learn abstract class, and for access that abstract class, we required inheritance, that is a single inheritance. So what is the inheritance? Inheritance is one of core concept of object-oriented programming in Java. It allows one class to inherit a properties and behaviors from another class. This promotes code reusability, maintainability, and hierarchical classification. So there are types of inheritance, like there are single inheritance. So what means a single inheritance? A single child class inherits from a single parent. That's a single inheritance. So where we are use single inheritance? When a subclass need to extend behavior of single superclass, we are use single inheritance. After that, there is second type is a multi-level inheritance. A subclass act as a parent for another subclass. That means multi-level inheritance. After that, there are hierarchical inheritance. That means multiple child classes inherit from a single parent class. Multiple inheritance are not supported with the classes in a Java. It's supported only with the interfaces. So why it's not supported? When we are using multiple inheritance, it leads to ambiguity. That's a diamond problem. That means it's confused which method will be called from which parent. Hybrid inheritance also not supported with the classes in a Java, and that also supported only with the interfaces. So that two things are create diamond problems within a Java. So what means a diamond problem? The diamond problem is a Java occurs when a class inherits from two classes that have a common superclass. That superclass leading to ambiguity in method resolution. So the reason of diamond problem occurred if Java allow multiple inheritance through classes. A subclass will inherit methods from two parent classes, right? So that both inherit from a common superclass. If both parents override the same method differently, then Java wouldn't know which version to use in a subclass. It's a creating a conflict. So that's why that diamond problem will be occurred. For example, suppose I have two classes, A and D. That's a separate class. Huh? That's a concrete classes, A and B, A and D. That two classes are inherited by A class are inherited by child class B and C, and D class are inherited by a child class B and C. So B and C inherit from A and override methods. D inherit from both B and C, leading to ambiguity. Which method from B or C should D inherit? So to avoid that diamond problem, Java does not support multiple inheritance through a classes to avoid these issues. Instead, Java allow multiple inheritance through interfaces because interface do not contain implementation. So it's a reducing ambiguity. So that's the reason. When we are using inheritance, there are two keywords we are used for inheritance purpose. One is the extend keyword. That extend keyword are used to inherit a class. And second keyword is implements. That implements keyword are used to inherit interface. There are one more keyword we are used within an inheritance, that is a super. The super keyword in a Java is a reference variable used to refer a immediate parent class object. It is a primarily used in inheritance to access the parent class's methods, constructor, or variables. Within inheritance, we are use method overriding, not overloading. What I say, overriding. A method overriding occurs when subclass provides a specific implementation of a method that is already defined in its parent class. The method in a subclass must have the same name, return type, and parameters as method in a superclass. This is this is an example of runtime polymorphism within a Java. So let's see one example. Um, okay, so So single inheritance we already done. So I'm not repeat that single inheritance. So let's see the next thing that is from inheritance. That's multiple and multi-level and hierarchical inheritance. So that's why I create one base class. So here we are calculate area. Hmm? So for that reason, I'm create abstract class. That's abstract class name is a shape. After that, within that abstract class, we have one method to calculate area. That's abstract method. So that's abstract method I define there. After that, there are one another class. That class name is a circle, and that extend a shape class. So class circle, and that extends which class? Shape class. After that, I need one more class because it's a hierarchical inheritance class, and that these class are for calculate rectangle area. So its class name is rectangle. And that's extends shape class. So here, that's the example of hierarchical inheritance. That means single parent, multiple child. So here, I need to implement that abstract method that is the area. So let's implement that abstract method. Okay, I implemented unimplemented method from abstract class, but let's complete that example. So to calculate circle area, I required radius, right? So double, and that radius I want to initialize within a constructor. So that's why circle. Okay, so using constructor, I initialize the instance variable radius. After that, I need to write a logic for my calculate circle area. So here it's overridden method. Here I'm use a return. that math dot pi into radius right? So that will be written from area method. After that, let's complete next thing, that is a rectangle. So here, to calculate area of our rectangle, we required length and width, right? So for that reason, here I declare one double type. That double type we required length and width, right? Okay. Once we are declared that length and width, we need to initialize that length and width because it's an instance variable. So that's why within a constructor of rectangle, we are going to initialize that variable. Okay. So it's initialized. After that, we require to calculate area. So it's a length into width. So it's have a return type, return. Okay. So it will be written area of rectangle.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but sir, can you just tell me the difference between this keyword and super keyword?
Yesterday you are not join meeting.
Yes, sir. Yesterday I was in the meeting.
Okay. Okay. What is the this keyword then? It's a current object reference. That this keyword we are used within a class. Using this keyword, we can invoke constructor within a constructor. Using this keyword, we are invoke method, instance method within an instance method. Within a using this keyword, we are invoke instance variable. And after that, what is a super? Super, we are used within an inheritance to invoke immediate parent members. That is a constructor, method, and variable. Is it clear?
Thank you, sir.
What's your name?
Sir, myself Tanish Shekhar Shivsharan.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So here we are right hierarchical inheritance. Now let's see one example of multi-level. Okay. So for multi-level inheritance, I create one another class. It's a class. That class is a sphere. And this class extends circle. So here within a circle, I want to create a constructor because sorry, within a square, I want to create a constructor because circle class have a constructor. So I'm going to use that radius from circle class, right? So that's why that's a constructor, and that constructor is parameterized constructor. So double. And here I'm going to use a super keyword to call parent class constructor. When we are called parent class constructor within a subclass constructor, we are use a super keyword. But remember always that thing, that statement to calling constructor within your subparent constructor, it must be a first statement like this. Because yesterday we learned that things, these also, where using these also we are called class constructor within a same class, but this it's when we are calling constructor, it's a first statement from that constructor where we are call. Okay, super we are used here. After that we required to implement unimplement method. So that's why uh, that's the abstract method implemented within a shape class. So we can override this method. Okay, no problem. Now we are going to override this method. That method we are going to override and just change the formula for sphere calculate area. So it's a return square 4 into math pi into radius. That means 4 pi r square, right? That means 4 pi r square. Okay, so we are calculate that area also. So I hope you understand inheritance. Here I'm display that all examples. That's a demonstration for inheritance. That's a single. Yesterday we are covered that single inheritance. Today we are cover multi-level and hierarchical inheritance. Is any question regarding this? Now, yes. What's the question, Mansi? Yes, Mansi. Yes. What is the abstract class? Using abstract class, we are achieve abstraction. So, within abstract class, we are define one abstract method. That method will be implement circle, rectangle. But when they are implement that method, they are develop their own logic. So we are forcing using shape class, we are forcing that things to a child class. They can implement a area method, but that area method logic are different according to their own class. So that's the purpose of abstract class. Okay. There are types of inheritance in Java, right? So single inheritance, what means a single inheritance? When there are one child and one parent, like, look here. Look here. If you are observe that example, that highlighted example, their shape is a parent class and circle is a child class, which is the extend shape class. So when we have these type of relationship, then these relationship called single inheritance. When there are single parent, but that parent have a two childs, or two or more childs. Like here, I'm create a two child circle and rectangle for shape class. So that type of relationship, it's called
Multi-level inheritance.
hierarchical relationship. But when we are create square class and that class extends circle class, that means what? Circle have a parent, square have a parent of circle, and circle have a parent. That parent name is a shape. So here each child class have one single parent. So it's a multi-level inheritance. So that's a multi-level inheritance. So I hope that explanation is enough for youths. Rohit. Rohit, is any another question for you from you? Okay. After that, what's the question from Hamida? Difference between abstract class. Look here, shape is our abstract class. That shaper is not our abstract class. What is the difference between abstract class and abstract method? Abstract a class, when you declare abstract class, it is not possible to create a object. And what means abstract method? Abstract method doesn't contain any body. Actually, your question is wrong, Hamida. Can you elaborate your question? Because abstract class is a different thing, abstract method is a different thing. When we are use abstract keyword with a class, then it's called abstract class. When we are use a abstract keyword with a method, then it's a abstract method. Abstract method we must be implement within a subclass. The abstract class are it's not possible to create instance of abstract class. Okay, is any other question regarding inheritance? Okay, so let's move. So after inheritance, we are going to learn one another relationship that's called a has a relationship. So what is the has a relationship? A has a relationship in Java refers to composition or aggregation where one class contains an instance of another class as a field instead of inheriting from it. So this relationship is also known as object containment. For example, for that reason, I just create one file and then I will show that example. Okay. For example, suppose I have one class. That class name is author, right? So suppose I have one class, that class name is author, right? So how many properties author will be contained? author will contain author have a name. No. Directly it's not possible that you can create object of any abstract class. Shruti, directly it is not possible that you can create any object of any abstract class. Directly it's not possible, but indirectly possible. I will show you that things it is possible indirectly after some time. So author have a name, express age, right? So it's a string type. So instead age, we can use a mobile. And location. That means author are have locality using a location. So that's a string type. Now to initialize that variable, I create one constructor. So I'm going to create one constructor here. So look here, I create a constructor. Okay. Okay. So here we are create constructor to initialize instance variables. After that, I want to make a relationship in between author and book. So without use of inheritance. So that's why I just create one another class. I just create one another class. That's also concrete class. So after author, I'm going to create one another class. That class name is class book, right? And book have some fields. That field is um, it's a book have a name, ID, and author. So book have one field that is author, instance of author. After that, book have a name. After that, book have a ID. Book have a price. Okay, that's enough for demonstration. So here, the author class is a separate concrete class, and book class is a separate concrete class. But within a book class, we have one instance that is from author class. That's the author. So here we are maintain a relationship without using inheritance from book to author, and that relationship are called has a relationship. That relationship called has a relationship. That means what? When we are use an instance of another class within our class, then we are maintaining has a relationship. We are maintaining has a relationship. So let's complete this example also. So using that author instance from book class, it is a possible that we can access all details from author class. So let's check how it is possible. So to initialize that instance variable, I just create a constructor from book class. Okay. Once I create a constructor from book class, I will switch to a main. Here I create author class object. And first string is name. That name is author name. That is Amish Tripathi. After that, mobile number of Amish Tripathi. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. After that, the location is currently located in Mumbai. Okay, that's it. Now I need to create one another object, that object for book. And that's constructor we need to initialize with the values. So that's why the auth is the first value. After that, the book name, we require that book name is Melwa. And after that, price of this book is 750. Okay, look here. I create a author object and book object, right? Both objects are separate, but within a book object, we are refer author object as a parameter. So using that parameter, it is a possible to print author name. So here printed that author name. After that, it's a that things means I will access that all properties from author class. Okay, look here. Using book object, we can able to access author details. So that's a has a relationship. So again, for Sushant, I'm going to make it simple. What means has a relationship? When we have two concrete classes, that concrete classes not have a relationship with each other. But when a first class, first class instance we are used within a second class, then it's a maintain one relationship, and that relationship are called has a relationship. So Sushant, did you understand that things? Yes, of course, that's also possible. That's the easy thing. So that's why I'm not right. Book name, book price, that all things are possible. Done. If you want, you can print a book price also. That's your choice. Okay. What's the next question? Shubham, did you understand that things? Shubham Masali. Okay. Here one another question, sir. Why you write a string data type for mobile number? Because I don't want to make to perform arithmetic operation on that numbers. So that's why I'm use a string data type for mobile number. Rohit, did you understand why I'm use a mobile number string? Okay. So next question is what? Sir, where is a has a use? I'm not understand your question. What's a Kaushik? Kaushik, what's your question? Install of book author name. Can't we write book name? That's the book name. That's the book name. If you compile that things, the all information you can get. Look here. That's the book name. No, no, no. Only look here. Uh, you need to understand absolute path. That means to access something, you require to move on that particular location. Then it will be accessed. And it's a common in every programming language. So that's why, for example, you have home, right? Within your home, you have kitchen. And kitchen, maximum time, if you're stay in flat, it's not possible that you can enter directly within your dining room, right? First, you need to locate your area. After that, you need to uh, get in your apartment. After that, things what the things you can select your floor. After that, you need to enter your hall, and after hall, you need to enter in your dining kitchen, right? So you need to follow absolute path to achieve a specific location. So hope Amina and Shubham are understand these things. No, has is not keyword. Rohit, has is not keyword. Uh, understand that things they think like that has is a keyword. Has is a relationship type. Has is a type of relationship. So instead inheritance we are use has a relationship here, and using has a relationship we can do a same thing to access parent property. Like parent property we are access uh, the property from different class using has a relationship. That's right, Tanish. Yes, has a relationship is a very important in object oriented design. Uh, because when we are write our program, we required loose coupling instead of tight coupling. And has a relationship are provide that loose coupling without maintain inheritance. We can access uh, any other class members. Yes, right. It is an instance of another class. Tell me, what is the difference between object and instance? Look here. What means instance? When we have object, we have a memory. fixed memory for that object. When the object not contain any memory, then that object called instance. An instance, for instance, we can allocate a memory at runtime. But for object, we are allocate a memory at the time when we are write our code. Like, look here, that author, OUL. We are use new keyword. So we are allocate a memory for that author. But within our book class, we have author. That's the instance. We are not use a new keyword to allocate a memory for that author, because that author memory will be allocated whenever we are create object of book, and that will be allocated from different object. That object is auth. So I hope that all questions are resolved. Is any other question? Is any other question? Okay. Of course, I will share. So that's the code I shared with you. Okay. After has a relationship. That's for inheritance. Okay. After that, uh, we are going to switch to next part, that is a interface. So I'm going to no, I'm going to create one class. That class name is interface demonstration. That class holding public static void main. Okay. Look here. That's our current class. That class, what is the purpose of this class? To execute our a code. That's the purpose of this class. So whatever code we are write here, that code will be execute using that interface demo class. Okay, so that's the purpose of this class. So we are not write any logic within that class. We are create object and call a method. Okay, so it's an end here. So now we are going to learn interface. So what is the interface? The interface in Java is a blueprint of a class that define abstract methods. It is a declare using an interface keyword and is used to achieve 100% abstraction. Since all methods in an interface are abstract by default, so when we are using interface, we are going to use interface keyword. these interfaces cannot hold instance variable. They are hold only static and final variable. Only static and final. If you are not write that static and final, then also a defaultly implicitly it's a static and final. The interface are support multiple and hybrid inheritance. The all methods from interface are public and abstract by default. Using interface, we are achieve abstraction, but I'm say that things there are not. We are achieve 100% abstraction. Why? Because when Java 8 launch, they are supported to write a concrete method within interface. And after some version, they are added some new features like it is a possible that we can write default method within an interface. What means a default method? Method with a body using default keyword. It's introduced in Java version 8. After that, it is a possible that we can write static method within a Java. So what means a static keyword? Look here. When you are use a static keyword, it's allocate a memory, and that memory is a class level memory. That means that method which are use a static keyword, that method are not possible to override, but it can be possible to overload. Okay. So whenever you are declare static keyword for any variable, any method, that method or variable are allocate a memory, that memory for only a class purpose. That means it's loaded into memory whenever load a class into memory. So static method. So method with a body using static keyword, that's a static method, and it's introduced in Java version 8. After that, in Java version 9, they are introduced one other things that it is a possible to write a private method within an interface. So interface no longer provide 100% abstraction after Java 8, but they still enforce a strict contract for implementing classes, making them useful for abstraction and multiple inheritance. So nowadays, maximally for making a loose coupling, we are using interface instead inheritance. So let's see one real-time example. So banking system with interface, multiple inheritance. It's a design banking system where different bank services like account management, transaction, interest calculation are handled using interfaces. Implement multiple inheritance using interfaces, and I will demonstrate it. So let's create the interface. So how to create interface? To create interface, we are use a keyword interface. After that keyword, we are write interface name. It's a bank. Curly bracket open, curly bracket close. Within that interface, I'm going to declare one field that is double type. That's the minimum balance. ₹500. Okay. So that's a defaultly static and final. That means we can't change it. It's a defaultly static and final. After that, I will create one abstract method within that interface, that abstract method is it's not written anything, void open account. And that open account holding some parameter, that is a string, a name. After that, initial deposit we required, it's a double. I need deposit. And that's abstract method. So that abstract method means what? Which method doesn't contain body, that's the abstract method. Look here. Here I'm not write a abstract, but defaultly it's a public and abstract. Defaultly it's a public and abstract. So here we required one another abstract method, that is close account. After that, we required to set the bank rule. So that's why it's a default. It's a default method. And what's the bank rule? Minimum balance required there, right? Okay, so that's the bank, right? So here we are use a default method. That method we are implemented inside interface. Remember that things. After that, what I say that static method also it is possible to write within an interface. So let's write that static method. So static method we can write for belongs guidelines to an interface that will be called directly. So static banking guideline. And that static method are invoked. Oh, why it's invoked? We can directly print statement. So banking. It's a banking guideline. Banking guideline for what? It's for secure transaction. Regular updates. Okay. Okay. So we are create two method here within our interface. One is a default. Second one is a static method. And what means the default method? Which method you are write with the default keyword? That method called the default method. Okay, there are some questions. I will answer first that things first, and then we will continue. First question for what? Okay, so first question from Sukanya Wag. Sukanya, it is not possible that we can create a constructor with interface. second question for from Tanvi. Create object no. It is not possible to create object of interface directly because interface cannot be initiated. But there are possible indirectly. I will show you that things how it is possible indirectly when we are use lambda. On that time, I will show you that things. But directly, it's not possible to create object. 14 and 15. It's from Hamida. 14 walk. Okay. That's abstract method. What means abstract method? Which method we are right with abstract keyword without method body. That method is abstract keyword. But within interface, a method when we are write abstract, it's a default name. That means implicitly abstract and public. No need to write that keywords public and abstract. It's implicitly abstract and public. And line number 50, it's also abstract method. After that, it's both are abstract methods for open account and close account. When we are open account, we are given a name and we required to deposit some account amount on a bank. So that's why we are use that two parameters. Okay, next question from Tanish. But interface, we are not allowed to define any methods. I know that things, Tanish. What the problem are there? The academic manual which we are study in our academic, it's a 10 to 20 year older. That means they are not update from Java 8. So still whatever things we are learn within academic, we are learn the older version. That older version is before Java 8. And before Java 8, of course, interface are not allowed a method with a body. But after Java 8 version, there are three methods are available: static, default, and private. So I hope, Tanish, you are understand that point. Yes, Pranjali. Yes, Pranjali. It is possible that we can write default method, static method, and private method with a body within interface. I hope, Pranjali, it's clear. Aditya Kolhapure, that's the same question. I hope it is clear. Yes, of course, default method we can be used in normal class also. Static method, private method also we can use within a normal class. That's called concrete class. After that, Pranit. Yes, Pranit, I hope you understand that things. It's the same question. What's Avantika? Avantika, actually that question is wrong because interface is a different thing. Inheritance is a different. Inheritance we are follow with the classes and with the interfaces. An interface is a non-primitive data type. Interface, class, object, that's a non-primitive data type. And inheritance is a methodology that we can use with the classes and interfaces. So I hope you understand that things, Avantika. After that, Tanvi. Tanvi, we are not complete that example. Just I'm writing interface. So it's we can write that full program, then you can understand, of course, that implementation. So still we are incomplete that program. Yes, of course, Rohit, it is a possible that interface can be extended another interface. We are doing that all things. My name is Aniruddha Gaikwad. What's the difference between abstract class and interface? That's the question. So what's the difference between abstract class and interface? Abstract class can be hold constructor, but within an interface, it's not possible to create a construct. After that abstract class, it can be hold concrete method, but interface are not hold a concrete method directly. It can be hold a concrete method with the keyword default, private, static. So that's the difference in between abstract class and interface. So Siley More, hope you understand that thing. Yes, we are not complete that example. So when we are complete that example, you can understand, Sushant, that all private and static and default, how we can call and how we can use. Yes, Samita, it is a possible that we can use multiple inheritance with the interface. I just clear, Hamida, that things, what is the difference between abstract class and interface? That abstract class and interface. Okay. So let's continue. Let's complete that things. So here we are use that all things which I may explain before write code. So initially I create a banking interface and create one variable minimum balance that's implicitly static and final. Create two abstract method, open account and close account. That's implicitly abstract and public. Create one default method to show bank rule. Create one static method to show banking guideline for secure transaction and regular updates. Now let's continue. So that banking interface are ended here. Okay. After that, I'm going to create one another interface. Look here. Every time when I deliver code with you, that I'm use real-time scenarios. So here also I'm use a real-time scenario. So using that scenario, you can perfectly understand that where that interface we will use and how it will be used. So that's why I'm use a real-time scenario. So after interface, banking interface, I have one another interface. That interface name is why we are use banking. So within banking we are making transaction. So transaction, it's extends banking. Look here, what's the meaning? We have banking interface and that banking interface extend by one child interface, that is a transaction. So here we are making single inheritance in between two interfaces. Okay. So what's the transaction we are perform with within bank? That's deposit and withdraw, right? But when you are extend any interface, no need to implement abstract method within a child interface. Okay, so I'm going to create deposit. Deposit. It's a double amount. That's abstract method. So I'm not write that comment. Huh? After that void, which transaction we are making in bank after deposit, it will be withdraw. Withdraw. And withdraw, we require to withdraw amount. So amount we required in a parameter. Right? Both things are done here. After that, let's use, we are not use a private method till now. So let's use one private method here. Okay. So the purpose of this private method is what? Here we can validate the transaction, that the transaction is valid or not. So that's why for transaction validate, if we are use a private method, then private method are not able to access outside of this interface. So instead that we can validate amount using private method. So private boolean is valid amount. The double amount, curly bracket open, close. Within that things we are written the logic, that logic is what? Amount is greater than must be 0. So we are create private method. After that, we need to validate a transaction also, right? So that's why we can use default method to validate transaction. Boolean is a return type, is a transaction valid is a method name. That's a method name. And to make a validation, we require amount, right? Double amount. Okay, and we are call our private method within a default method. We are called private method within a default method. Why we are called private method within a default method? Because private method are not accessible outside of that class or that interface where we are declare private. Okay, so default is done. Within a bank, I'm implemented transaction policies also. When I'm work with Ernst and Youngs on that time, I implemented that things. So for that reason, I'm use a static method. It's a transaction policy. And here for acknowledge user regarding transaction policy, I make one note. Right? Above 10,000 transactions, we require OTP verification. After that, that our interface, transaction interface are ended here. Oh, Okay. So hope you understand that code. I make one interface. That interface name is a transaction. My screener stop. Before continue, just I want to check my voice is audible properly and screen are visible to you. Okay, so Samruddhi, you can use your network signals. That means check your network signals. Okay, so let's explain. That's the second interface. That second interface name is a transaction. Within that transaction are extend with a banking interface. That means we are create single inheritance here, right? Within that transaction interface, we have two abstract method for deposit amount and to withdraw amount. That transaction interface holding one private method to validate amount. That user cannot be enter amount less than 0. For that reason, we need to validate it. After that, that validate amount method, we are write with a private. So it's not possible to access outside of interface of this private method. So that's why I create one default method that's each transaction valid and write invoke each valid amount method there in line number 32. After that, a transaction have some policies. There are a number of policy. I use one simple policy here. That's a transaction above 100 required OTP verification. So I hope you understand that interface. Is any problem regarding this? Samruddhi, we are talk lots of things. That means if it is repeat it from beginning, it's we are waste over half an hour. I will summarize this at end of our session always, and I'm doing that things always. Okay, 28 and 31. 28. Okay, and 31. Okay. When I introduce you interface, what I told you, there are three methods with a body. It is possible to write within an interface. First one is what? Private. Second one is what? Default. Third one is what? Static. So static and default we already discussed in our first interface, banking. In that second interface, I need to validate amount. And to validate amount, I create one method. That method is a private. That method is a private. These methods are checked whatever user are enter amount, that enter amount is greater than 0. It's not accept lower than 0. And if it is a validate, then we can proceed that transaction. Otherwise, we are just close that transaction. So that's the reason that 28 to 30 number line. Samruddhi, is it clear? 28 to 30 number lines. Samruddhi, are you there? Samruddhi, okay. Now 31 to 33 lines. So validate amount, that method we are write with a private, and it's not possible to access outside of interface. So to make that things are possible, we are use one another method. That method is a static type. That's a transaction. Sorry, that method is a default type. That's a return Boolean value. And these methods are return a value when it's a valid amount. When it's a valid amount. Okay. So I hope is it clear. Can we move? Still, we are not complete that code. That's why yesterday I told you that interface is very vast topic. we need to learn that interface with in detail. So can we move? Okay. Okay. So, and here we are use one real-time example. Okay. Just within a real-time example, just that instead of some statement, we are use real logics. I just avoid that real logic, but that's the structure of real-time example. Okay. So now we have two interfaces. Now let's separate functionality. Functionality means what? For any banking amount, we need to calculate interest, right? So, and that interest is we can calculate using a interface. That means just we are separate functionality. We are not calculate it actually. Just we are separate functionality. So that's why create one another interface. That interface name is interest. Interest. And here that interest, it's a individual interface. It's not extend to anyone. And here we need to create functionality, separate functionality for interest. So we can create one abstract method to calculate interest. To calculate interest, we require a balance and rate, interest rate. And it's abstract method. Now let's create one another interface. Or it's not required. Because banking have a multiple things like there are card services also. We can create a nested interface example using card service. Okay, let's do it. So you can check how we can create nested interface also. It is also possible to create a nested class like nested interface. So here I create a interface card. And it's holding two abstract method, void activate card and deactivate card. Okay, so that interface are ended here. So it's ended here. Within the same interface, I'm going to create one another interface. It's called nested interface. It's called what? Nested interface. Like a nested interface, it is also possible that we can create nested class, but nested method not possible within a Java. Okay. So here we are activate and deactivate. So we can write it's a card services. And here we are write card security. It's also interface. But this interface we are right within an interface. So it's called nested interface. that card security are end here. So that's the example of nested interface. So within card security, we can write a method for enable two-factor authentication, right? So here I create one abstract method. Okay, that's a abstract method for enable two-factor authentication. Now let's start to implement that interfaces, that all interfaces. And for that reason, I'm use one class. That class name is bank account. And that bank account are extend interfaces. So to extend interface by class, we are use one keyword. That keyword is implements. What's the keyword? Implements. Implements keyword. And after that, how many interfaces we require to implement that interfaces we are right here. So first transaction. To avoid spelling mistake, I just copy, paste it here. So it's a transaction. After that, interest we required. After that, card services we required. After that, card security we required. Okay. Curly bracket close. So I hope now you are understand how we can use multiple inheritance within a Java using interfaces. Is it clear? Multiple inheritance. That means single class can be implemented multiple interfaces. Okay. So let's complete these things. It's a simple example. Actually, banking application is a very vast. They have lots of things, but I make that thing shorter for you for real-time example to demonstrate interfaces, and using that example, you can understand why interface is required and where to use that interfaces. Okay. So we have account, right? Create account. So to name of that account creator, we require account holder, and we require to maintain a balance, right? So that's why uh, to private members, I required a string. It's account holder. And second private member I required for balance. Why I am use private? Because encapsulation. I don't want to explode that variable's value outer side of my class. So that's why I'm use a private. So it's a double balance. So I'm going to make some space. Okay. Now to initialize that variables, instance variable, we required constructor. So it can be initialize object also with that things, right? So let's create a constructor to initialize that two variables. Okay, we can use a constructor. Its the constructor is a public. That's the reason. So I create here constructor to initialize these two instance variable. Once we are created constructor, now it's a time to implement abstract methods. So first abstract method from transaction interface. So let's implement that abstract method from transaction interface. So method defaultly public. So that's why I'm write a public void. What's our method name? It's from transaction. It's a deposit and withdraw, right? That means two method we need to implement there. So let's implement transaction. Oh, within a banking, we required to open account and close account. So before making transaction, we need to open account, right? So let's use that things. So it's at the rate override. What's I'm going to override open account. But you can say that things banking we are not invoke here. That means extend here. Then also we need to implement banking abstract method because the transaction interface are extend banking interface. So that's the reason when the transaction interface we need to implement, it must be implement banking interface. Okay. So Tanish, is it okay for you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. So I just change the name of local variables. Okay. So account opening I required to create open account. That account holding a string name and double amount. That's the initial deposit, right? So it's initial deposit. Okay. So curly bracket open, curly bracket close. These dot account holder is equal to what's the name? It's the name. And initial balance. For initial balance, we required to make a validation. So that's why I'm use if uh, initial deposit is greater than equal to the minimum balance. Minimum balance. That minimum balance we are declared within a banking interface. If it is a true, then we are saying these dot balance is equal to initial deposit. So we are assign value for that our instance variable, and after that acknowledge to user. That's um, account open for that's the name of user. And the initial balance I need to write it plus okay, done. If it is not happen, then we require one alternate path, right? So else we can write it's not happen. Okay, so we are say that things for within else part. So that's our first implementation are done, and that implementation from where? From banking interface. Huh? Okay. So we are done that things here, right? So why we are required constructor? Okay. So I just copy invoke that method within a constructor. Okay, so that's done. After that, we are implemented first method from banking. So there are second method also available. That's a close account. So I just create that method also. What's it's a close account. So here I acknowledge user. That account close for that account holder, and balance is 0. Okay. We are done for close account. After that, it's that two abstract method only for banking interface, right? A- After that, we have transaction also, right? So within a transaction, how many abstract method? Two abstract method we have. So we require to implement that two abstract method. When we are implement method, public keyword are required. Otherwise, it will be show error. बंद आहे. हा. बघ एकदा चेक करून घे. हम्म? काय जाऊन दे? चेक वर चालेल. Okay, sorry for disturb. So we required to implement two more methods. That more methods are declared within transaction interface. So let's implement that deposit and withdraw. So first deposit. So we have validation for amount for deposit, right? So let's use that thing. If if is transaction valid using amount, and if it is returned true, then we need to update balance. It's a these dot balance. These dot balance equal plus equal to amount. And once we are update balance, we need to acknowledge user that amount older amount and new balance. What's that means? We need to declare to user, and for that reason, to acknowledge user, I just use one string that deposited, and what's we deposited, that amount we are deposited, and new balance is what, that these dot balance is the new balance. Otherwise, in else part, we can say what we say, transaction is invalid. Okay. So now let's complete withdraw. Then we can start question answering again. So for withdraw also some user will be enter negative amount. So that's why uh, we can validate same thing using is transaction validate. So I use the same logic within a withdraw. Just we are making differentiate, instead plus we are using minus equal to amount. But there are one things that we require to check there are minimum balance available or not, right? So that's why I just change my logic. It's amount and the dot balance, these dot balance is minus amount is greater than equal to minimum balance, right? So that things we need to check, and after that we can make a balance minus amount and print it, withdraw. Withdrawn amount and new balance. That new balance, that means remaining balance. Remaining balance is this balance, right? Otherwise, within else, invalid withdrawn. Okay. Okay. Now, at the end, we need to calculate interest. But instead, I can implement that calculate interest. You must be implement that thing. But before that, let's start question and answer. So I hope you understand that I'm implemented methods from different interfaces within a same class. So the first question from Tanishq, that yes, I'm already done that things. Okay. Second question from Tanvi. Okay. So Tanvi's question is what? Within our class, where is class bank account class? Within our class, we use account holder and balance private. So what is the purpose of this? The private is access modifier. Using access modifier, we are achieve encapsulation. So when we are use a private, we are make sure that things, the value of this private member cannot be accessed outside of our class. So we are making some security for that two variables. It can be explored. So that's the reason we are use a private. Most of time when you write a program, you use some keys uh, if you use a database have a username and password. You don't want to explore that username and password outside of your particular class. So for that reason, you can make that variables who are holding username and password to private. So it can be accessed only that class. It's not possible to access outside of this class. So that's the reason to use a private. Okay. To access that private member outside of bank account, we need to create object, because that object are initiated that things within a open account. So open account are able to initialize that variable. So Tanvi, hope you understand that things. To access a private member outside of bank account class, we need to create the object of bank account class, and that object holding one calling statement is called open account method, and that open account method actually initialize these two instance private variable. So Tanvi, okay. After that, next question. Yes, of course. I will explain that things. Still we are not complete these example. Divanji, still we are not complete that example. Still we need to write some more code. But before that, whatever things we are right, I need to make that clear to you. So that's why I'm explaining that question and answers. So Divanji, when I invoke all the things, on that time you can understand how to invoke static and default method. Any other question? Yes, but it's not completed. Okay, no problem. I will share that uncompleted code with you. It's not still it's not completed. That's the uncompleted code. Okay, so let's complete it. Huh? Okay. So look here. Still our bank account are given error. That means there are card services holding one nested interface, that is a card security, and we required to implement that things also, right? So let's add an implemented method. Okay, so I hope you can complete that logic. So that's why I'm going to post that completed code with you. That's a completed code. Now let's start to invocation. Look here, how we can invoke. So we require to create bank account object, right? It's I can use a bank account object name is bank. So, or we can use account. That's a meaningful. New bank account. Let's invoke constructor. The holder name, account holder name. That's the account holder name. And initial balance. I will use initial balance. It's 1,000. Okay. After that, let's access default method from interface, right? So account dot show bank rule. That's a default a method from interface banking, right? From banking. So here we are access Okay. So hope you are understand how we can invoke the default method from interface. The default method from interface. After that, and the next thing, what let's invoke static method. Huh? So to static method are allocate a memory within a class, right? Within a class memory. So that's why we require to invoke that static method with the interface name, that is a banking dot what's static method. It's a banking guideline. So here call static method with interface name. We are called static method with the interface name. After that, let's make a okay. Before makes transaction, we have some other methods within a transaction, right? So transaction dot transaction policy, that also static method. From transaction. Okay. After that, let's make transaction. So account deposit. Sorry. So account, it's our object dot deposit. How many balance? I want to deposit 500. After that, after deposit, let's withdraw. Withdraw. I want to withdraw 200. After that, I want to withdraw some more amount that will be invalid. $2,000, and it will be invalid. Withdraw. It's an invalid withdraw. Now, let's enable two-factor authentication. For that reason, we can use account dot enable two-factor authentication. And if you don't want to open account, then you can close. Calculate interest. And for 5% interest rate. But that method we are implemented, but not write a logic. You should be write that logic. And at the end, let's close account. Okay. So we are open account with a balance. Withdraw from account. After that, it's a banking rule. Sorry, it's a banking rule. After that, we are withdraw account balance. It's a deposit here. It's a change balance. New balance is 1,500. When we are withdraw the new balance, it's showing 1,300. When we need to withdraw 2,000, we are not have that much balance. So it's a show invalid withdraw amount. And once it's closed, it's account closed for anything. And that's the full code. So students, hope you are understand that Actually, I create one full application for you to better understand interfaces. So I hope you are understand that things. Here I am posted a full code on our chat box.
Sir, what is enable two-factor authentication?
That's a method. That's method enable two-factor authentication for login or performing any transaction, withdraw and deposit. Did you use any bank account? Okay. What means a two-factor authentication? Most of bank account have their own Android app. Using that Android app also without any credit or debit card, it is possible to withdraw amount and deposit amount from bank. So when you are doing that transactions, they are going to set two-factor authentication. That means from app, you need to pass some keys. And when that key are passed, then it is possible to withdraw from ATM. So that's a two-factor authentication. So they are authenticate. That's a you are withdrawing your amount. Is any other question? Okay. Still we are not continue. Still we are not completed. So we will continue it tomorrow. But if you have any question regarding current code, if you can ask. In our scenario, that method only showing a message that we have enabled two-factor authentication. Actually, we are not implement real logic. We are implemented real structure only. What's Tanvi? Can we make go? Okay. Look, Tanvi. Maximum enterprise software are developed by Java. The reason is what? The first reason is a security. Second reason is a faster development because maximum developer knowing Java language. The third reason is what? There are lots of libraries are available which are achieve a target. That means everything you can implement using Java. And the fourth thing is what? It's faster than Python. If you are compared with the Python, it's a much more faster for execution. So that's the reason we are selected Java other than other languages. Yes, what's the MP? Mangesh? What's the question, Mangesh? Okay, just wait. I'm going to take attendance and then you can left. Just wait. Okay, it's done. So thank you very much for attending today's class. We have a next class on Monday, not tomorrow. So see you on Monday. So thank you very much. I will update this code on our daily notes. So please check that code on daily notes.